The newest Dragon Ball Sparking Zero trailer finally dropped, and with the theme of it being based off of Fused Warriors, you know that a ton of people were excited to see what they had in store. There were so many new things to see in that trailer, and in this video, we're going to break all of it down. First off is that we've got 21 new characters announced for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and those characters are Trunks Kid Super Saiyan, Goten Super Saiyan, Kefla Super Saiyan 2, Kale Super Saiyan, Gotenks Super Saiyan 3, Kefla Super Saiyan 2, Vegito Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, Gogeta Super Saiyan, Gogeta Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, Fused Zamasu, and Fused Zamasu Half Corrupted. Now, of course, it makes sense as to why these characters were announced, because the theme of the trailer is Fused Warriors, but still, seeing the likes of Vegito, Gogeta, Fused Zamasu, Kefla, and Gotenks in action in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is just absolutely incredible. We've all waited a long time to see them in action, and today's the day that we finally get to see it. We also get to see Kid Trunks, Goten, Kale, and Kefla use some super attacks in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, with Kid Trunks using High Speed Rush and Goten using Assault. However, when it comes down to Kale and Kefla, they're both using a blast move that we haven't seen them use before. My assumption is that they're both using full power energy wave, primarily because when it comes down to those characters in their base forms, they're not really represented in the video games like that. So in order to flesh out their moveset, they gave them a generic blast, which would make sense. But if not that, then those moves haven't been named yet. But just from this assessment, I do believe that those moves are full power energy wave. And of course, we do get to see them use ultimate attacks as well. We get to see Super Saiyan Kale use Blaster Stream, and we get to see Super Saiyan Goten use Super Kamehameha. However, we do get to see Super Saiyan 2 Kefla use an ultimate attack, but we don't know the name of the attack. And I tried to figure out what it was by reviewing previous Dragon Ball games, and came up with nothing. Because it's not Crush Cannon, because she doesn't charge it like that, and it's not Crush Stream, because she doesn't execute that move like that either. So again, we don't know the name of the move, and I'm pretty sure in due time we'll figure out what it is, but it's still nice seeing some ultimate attacks from these characters in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And on the topic of ultimate attacks, we have the confirmation that Team Ultimate Attacks will be in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And what solidifies this is not only what we saw in this trailer, but also what we got from the latest V-Jump and what we saw in the Power vs. Speed trailer. So, to give you guys a bit of context, in the Power vs. Speed trailer, we saw Jace team up with Birder to use the Purple Comet attack. However, we didn't know if team battles were going to make a return in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, but the latest V-Jump did confirm that information. And of course, with this trailer being based off of the information we got from the latest V-Jump, we can confirm that Team Ultimate Attacks will be in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. In this particular case, we see Goten use Super Kamehameha, and then Trunks joins in and also uses Super Kamehameha alongside Goten as a Team Ultimate Attack. And not only that, we see Kale use Blaster Stream, but in the midst of her using the attack, Kefla shows up, and then they both fire off a blast, forming the Limit Break Blaster move. So again, I'm really excited that Team Ultimate Attacks are in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, because we've only seen a few of the possibilities of these type of attacks in the game. So I can't even begin to imagine what characters can pair up with what in order to make a crazy Team Ultimate Attack. It's gonna be insane. And now we get to talk about something we've all been waiting to see in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and that is fusions. We finally get to see some fusions in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and the first thing that gets confirmed is in-game fusions. We do get to see Goten and Trunks fuse in-game into Gotenks, and we also get to see Kale and Kefla fuse in-game into Kefla. But one very particular thing about that is, for the first time in a Dragon Ball console game, we get to have a playable base Kefla as well. She has never been playable in any console Dragon Ball game until now. So again, it's nice knowing that we finally get to see some in-game fusion, and also we get an iteration of a fused character that we've never actually had the opportunity to play before in a console Dragon Ball game. After fusing, we get to see Gotenks and Kefla use some moves and transformations in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. We get to see Gotenks transform into Super Saiyan and use Super Ghost Kamikaze attack, and then afterwards transform into Super Saiyan 3 and use Charging Ultra Boo Boo Volleyball. And then we also get to see Kefla transform into Super Saiyan 2 and use Gigantic Burst. And if there's one thing that I really do appreciate, it's the fact that they really paid attention to the details for Gotenks' moves. Because when he uses Super Ghost Kamikaze attack, the ghosts are very expressive, much like how they were in the anime. And not only that, when he uses Charging Ultra Boo Boo Volleyball, Piccolo joins in to assist Gotenks with the attack. However, there is one thing I do want to point out with that, and it's the fact that even though Piccolo does assist Gotenks, that is not a team ultimate attack, because that's how it was in the anime, and even in Tenkaichi 3, you don't need Piccolo for him to assist in the attack. That's just how the move has always been. So again, even though we talked about team ultimate attacks earlier, in this particular case with Gotenks, that's not the case. When I tell you guys that I screamed so loud when I saw this, that is a complete understatement, because we got the confirmation of two very popular fusions, and they are none other than, of course, Vegito and Gogeta Super. Now, of course, they're to be expected in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, primarily because we know Majin Buu's in the game, so of course Vegito's going to be there. And then we saw Broly in the game from Dragon Ball Super, so of course we knew Gogeta was going to be in the game as well. But there is something that I do want to point out about Gogeta, and it's the fact that his name in the game is Gogeta Super. So because of the fact of him being called Gogeta Super, that means that more than likely, we're also going to be getting Gogeta Z in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero as well. But of course, it makes sense as to why they called this iteration of Gogeta Gogeta Super, because one, he's from Dragon Ball Super, and two, because Gogeta Super and Gogeta Z look exactly the same with two differences. One of which is that Gogeta Super has a base form, Gogeta Z doesn't. But also, because of the fact of their vests looking slightly different, Gogeta Z's like fluffy part of the vest is orange, and for Gogeta Super, it's yellow. But still, it's good that they at least classified this character as Gogeta Super. It makes complete sense because he's from Dragon Ball Super, and this is the canon iteration of Gogeta. So him getting that classification makes complete sense. Moving on to Vegito, we actually get to see two particular things with this character. One of which is that he has a brand new grab animation, because remember in Tenkaichi 3, his grab was Dragon Throw, but in this game, it's a completely new animation. Why they decided to give him a new one, I don't know, and I'm definitely not complaining. We definitely take that. However, we also get to see a super attack from Vegito as well. Now note, this move does have a name, and for those of you guys who have not played Dragon Ball Legends, you may not know the name of this move. It seems like it would be Big Bang Attack, because that was the move that he used in Tenkaichi 3, but based on his hand placement, it's not Big Bang Attack. The name of this move is Big Bang Kamehameha. This move was named in Dragon Ball Legends. Now, I don't know if they're going to keep the name Big Bang Kamehameha for this game and maybe just give it some sort of different name. Who knows what they're gonna go with, but at the very least, we do know of a name this move has gone by, and it is called Big Bang Kamehameha. For the first time ever in the Tenkaichi series, we finally get to see fused Zamasu, and this character looks so good in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And not only that, we also get to see his ultimate attack as well, and that move is none other than Lightning of Absolution. And the scale that they actually went with to make this move look grandiose is kind of insane. Again, I love the fact that in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, they're making moves as grandiose and as flashy as possible. And with Fused Zamasu using Lightning of Absolution, it's no exception. Going back to Gogeta Super, we do get to see him transform into Super Saiyan, and we also get to see him use two moves as well. The first move is actually a move that Trunks Kid used in this trailer, and that's High Speed Rush. Again, at first I thought it could have been anything else, but as I compared the two, it seemed very similar in nature to each other. Now, I could be wrong about this, but just based off of what I see, it seems as if it is High Speed Rush. But there is one move I'm absolutely certain that he uses, and that is Stardust Fall. And the best thing about it is, it's an entire rush down move. He does the combo where he spins his hand, and then afterwards kicks Fuse Zamasu, and then goes in the air, charges up the move, and fires off the salvo down on Fuse Zamasu. It looks absolutely incredible in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Going back to Fuse Zamasu, we get to see him transform into his half-corrupted form, and this is actually the third time in which we're able to fully play as Fuse Zamasu half-corrupted in a console Dragon Ball game. The first time was in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, depending on which game mode you're playing, and the second time was in Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission. In Dragon Ball FighterZ, you are able to play as Fuse Zamasu, but unfortunately you're not able to play as his half-corrupted form. So that would make this game the third console Dragon Ball game that allows you to play as this character. And of course, we do get to see one move from him as well, and that move is none other than the Sword of Sanctifying Light. Of course, Fuse Zamasu just has over-exaggerated names for his moves, but of course the name of the move is Sword of Sanctifying Light. After a long wait, we finally get to see Vegito Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, otherwise known as Vegito Blue, in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And we also do get to see a move from him as well, a particular super attack that consists of two moves that normally would be individual super attacks. The combo consists of him using the Spirit Sword and Savage Strike, which Savage Strike has gone under a different name in Dragon Ball FighterZ, and that name being Omega Finishing Blow. But for this particular move in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, I'm kind of hoping that they go with the name Omega Finishing Blow. And not only that, but we also get to see Gogeta Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, otherwise known as Gogeta Blue, in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero as well. And we do get to see him strike a very familiar pose to execute a very specific attack. But we're gonna talk about that in just a second. Nearing the end of the trailer, we do get to see some more fused fighters using more moves. And those moves are Gotenks using Big Tree Cannon, Super Saiyan Gotenks using Galactic Donuts, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks using Victory Cannon, Kefla using Fist Cannonball, Super Saiyan Kefla using Gigantic Blast, Super Saiyan 2 Kefla using Gigantic Burst, Gogeta Super using Big Bang Kamehameha, Vegito using Super Kamehameha, Fused Zamasu using Blades of Judgment, Gogeta Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, using the move I said I was going to talk about later, and that move is none other than Meteor Explosion. We also get to see him use Ultimate Kamehameha. And finally, we get to see Vegito Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan using Final Kamehameha. Now, out of all of these that I mentioned, the one that I'm honestly the most surprised about is Gogeta Super using Big Bang Kamehameha, because remember, that move belongs to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but that move ultimately is not canon, because Gogeta Super never used that move, but they did give him that move in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. That's actually my favorite move in all of Dragon Ball, so to see it in Sparking Zero has me really happy. Characters weren't the only new things that we got to see in this latest trailer for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, because we did get the confirmation of two new stages as well, and those stages are none other than the World Tournament stage and Supreme Kai's planet. Now, of course, I absolutely expect the World Tournament stage to be in this game. 100%, it's way too important of a stage to not be in the game, especially if there's a World Tournament mode that's going to be in this game. And as for Supreme Kai's planet, that stage also has to be in this game because for story reasons, that is the stage where they wiped out Kid Buu. So if both of those stages were not in this game, then that would have been a massive mistake. And finally, with the 21 characters that were revealed in the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero Fused Warriors trailer, that brings the roster count to 82 out of 164 characters announced, which means that yes, we have officially hit the halfway mark for characters announced to be in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. That leaves us with another 82 characters left to show off before we reach the limit for the characters in the base roster. I have to emphasize the base roster because of course this game could get DLC, and if it does get DLC, then they could expand beyond 164. So again, right now we're at the halfway mark, But of course, DLC is still a possibility. And with that, we've broken down pretty much everything the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero Fused Warriors trailer has to offer. But I'm pretty sure that there might be some things that I missed that you guys might have picked up on. So if there's anything that I might have missed, or just things that you guys have noticed in general, then definitely let me know in the comment section below. But with that being said, I'm Ndukauba, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.